Director David Fincher is no stranger to twisty-turvy psychological thrillers, but Gone Girl might just be one of his most surprising films yet. Hello viewers, welcome back to another video on our channel. Today we'll share with you Gone Girl, the real reason Nick stays with Amy, so stay tuned to find out and let's dive right into it.
When I met Nick Dunn, I knew he wanted Cool Girl, and for him, I'll admit, I was willing to try.
Thrillers about missing wives and guilty husbands are nothing new. But in 2014, director David Fincher contributed his own take on this familiar story with Gone Girl, which quickly became the standard bearer for this super specific genre. Based on the hit novel by Gillian Flynn, who also adapted her own work for the screen, the film tells the story of a crumbling marriage between Nick and Amy Elliott Dunn, and the couple's 5th anniversary is interrupted by Amy's sudden and suspicious disappearance. Nick and Amy's story, which starts as a classic love story and ends as a tragedy, is one for the ages, and whether you just saw Gone Girl for the first time, or you still don't quite understand the ending after dozens of rewatches, we're here to help.
There is this exploration, there is this evolution, there's this unfolding or revealing.
Given the controversy already surrounding the twisted conclusion in the best-selling book, author Gillian Flynn did not have an easy task in front of her when she adapted the screenplay. The frenzy increased when Flynn said a few months ago the ending would be completely different, but then later backtracked and explained that that was an exaggeration. Now that the movie is out, and a success at the box office with a $38 million opening weekend and the mystery ending is finally revealed, it turns out, yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same as the book. Sure, there were a few small differences, but overall, the crazy conclusion remained the same. Even though Amy, Rosamund Pike, framed husband Nick, Ben Affleck, for her murder, revenge for him having an affair, among many other complicated reasons, he does not leave her when she arrives back at home. Wait! Before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated about our future uploads. Now, let's get back to our video.
As you all know, my wife, Amy Elliott Dunn, disappeared 3 days ago.
When we first saw the movie Gone Girl, back when it was released, we took the ending, as we assume most viewers did, as Nick stays with Amy primarily for the sake of his unborn child. Nick feels responsible for the child, and will not walk away now that he is aware of Amy's true colors, and that he would spend the following years looking for any which way to escape. However, rewatching the film recently, knowing all the beats and turns the film takes, one particular moment stood out to us. After Nick tells Margot about Amy's pregnancy and his feeling of responsibility to the child, Margot accuses Nick of wanting to stay. Nick shrugs it off, reiterating that what he's doing is best for the child, but I started to wonder, was Margot right about Nick? Maybe Nick knew that he would never find someone as challenging as Amy, and that's what kept him tied to her, despite the sociopath he knew she is. Amy says to Nick after they've been reunited that he only ever liked himself when she was pushing him, when he was knotting himself up, trying to impress her and live up to her expectations. This feels like a tee-up for a rebuttal in the story, and I guess Nick's dissatisfaction counts. But throughout the film, even though he's fighting to maintain his innocence, he maintains a certain joie de vivre, becoming excitable as he solves Amy's clues, relishing his opportunities to turn the tables on her. One of the other most common queries about Gone Girl is why exactly Amy comes back to Nick at the end of the film, despite earlier hating him to the point of framing him for murder so he would receive the death penalty. However, all that changes when Amy sees Nick's TV interview, in which he expresses remorse for not being a better husband. Amy knows he's not being sincere and only acting like it to avoid prison, but Amy is attracted to Nick, putting on the appearance of being the perfect husband. This was the charismatic charmer who Amy fell in love with, the Nick who pretended to be someone that Amy would like, while Amy lived up to the cool girl fantasy that she outlined in her iconic monologue. It was only after Nick stopped putting on this persona during their marriage that Amy started to hate him, expecting her to still love him, while she continued being society's expectation of the ideal wife. Amy supposedly escaping her kidnapper and returning home gives her story a fake fairy tale happy ending, and she can then use her pregnancy and the court of public opinion to blackmail Nick into being the picture-perfect husband. In return, she'll pretend to be the ideal sweet, innocent wife and mother, and they'll live out their lives as a fantasy, pretending to be other people. Some interpretations of the book and film see Nick being a psychopath, as well as Amy, and that they are too alike to let each other go. Both are now aware that their relationship is a fantasy, but secretly like putting on a performance for each other, and are doomed to carry on playing games with each other in an endless cycle. Nick knows he'll never find someone else who would kill for him, and maybe he even likes that. With the Gone Girl cast featuring names such as Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, and even Emily Ratajkowski, it's not surprising the film took the world by storm in 2014, even earning Pike an Oscar nomination for Best Actress.